Okay, take two. Let's hope it works. Send. Okay. We're in much better shape now, sorry. Instagram acting a fool. Instagram acting up. We're gonna be in good shape this time. Yeah, we're back. We're back. Trying to get A-Stat in here. Instagram is acting crazy. We will see if we can get him in here now. Oh yeah. What's up, Wesley? From Brazil. Yeah. Yeah, she couldn't. Wow, Mike just put up a great post if you haven't seen it on his socials. It was guest joining. LPLive acoustic. Yeah, that's us.
There we go. Oh God, your face is huge.
Dude, sorry.
How's it going?
Yeah, I'm doing great. How are you doing? Your connection is really clear.
Yeah, I got a new phone like 2 weeks ago. So
Oh, wow. This is like a tremendous upgrade. We're like in HD right now.
yeah, it's like I think this is like not. This is a greater number of frames per second than like 15.
Right.
So, before we get started, I want to explain to our viewers what you've done to me here, though. So I got home and thought that we were doing this right after I got home. So I was like, oh, today's a special day, so I'm gonna break out the good stuff. And
Oh, yeah. Time for a celebration.
46% whiskey. I've been sitting here for like an hour and a half waiting for you, so I've had a lot more whiskey than I thought I was going to drink. So that's a thing, but I'm good.
Let's
fine.
do it.
I'm fine.
Let's do it. Let's break this thing down top to bottom. Let's run through it. I want to get your thoughts. I want to see what you think about it. I want to know, everything.
Okay. So I guess just go down. I've got a text file with everything in it here. So we got Hybrid Theory and Reanimation on CD, and this is the super deluxe set. We got Hybrid Theory and Reanimation on both CD and vinyl. I kind of thought that Reanimation, like I'm not mad that they put it in there, but it seems a little like I don't think anybody would have complained if they didn't, because they've kind of acted like Reanimation was another album.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I could have seen a couple years from now it getting its own sort of like mini anniversary thing, but they chose to put it in here, so that's cool.
Yeah. I think probably because at this point, since it's affiliated with Hybrid Theory, they're probably just not. I mean, logically, you're not going to do a Hybrid Theory release and then do right back to back to a Reanimation one, then a Meteora one. You got to start combining stuff. So Meteora, maybe you might see the Collision Course stuff with it, for example.
That's true. Or Live in Texas.
Oh yeah, even better.
Yeah. Plus, I think part of their reasoning might have been they just reissued Reanimation on vinyl like not that long ago, so
right.
They aren't going to reissue it again a couple years from now, I wouldn't think. So they're just kind of throwing it in. The B-side rarities disc. So I guess I'll actually go down the track listing on that. So we've got.
Yeah, let's get really in depth on this stuff, because probably most people are not going to find as in-depth information as what we're about to talk about. So yeah, B-side rarity first.
All right, so the first track is actually the only one I don't have on CD already. It's the One Step Closer rock mix. So I bet a lot of people don't even know what that is. So One Step Closer was the band's first single, and Warner wasn't really sure how radio stations would react to like the whole rap rock thing, which was, I don't understand why, because like Limp Bizkit and Korn and stuff are already big, but whatever. So they did this mix of One Step Closer that in the bridge there's no scratching. It's like in between the shut up screams there's normally Joe scratches. They just took that out, and that's the rock mix. It's on the radio promo you can find on eBay and stuff.
Yeah, I think I've got one. Let me.
I thought I did too, but I actually don't. Um,
Oh yeah. Oh wow. Look, this
oh, you got the cool one with the artwork even. There's a couple different ones. There's that one, and there's like just the generic radio promo.
one step
Yeah,
closer. Got the rock mix on the back. Just 2 songs. Just a promo CD. Here's what the CD looks like.
yeah, it's cool because it looks kind of different from the single too.
Dude, I just now realized this. This is the first time in my life, right now on Instagram, that I'm realizing this. Is this the same piece of artwork that's on the Hybrid Theory 2-track, the Hybrid Theory band 2-track Esau Super Zero CD?
Show it to me again. It's very
One
similar.
second. Yeah. This.
Um,
I have that
I
CD. Let
think
me find it.
I think it is, and it's just like cropped off. I saw
Wow.
somebody asked. Yeah, Plaster's the one with the shut up screams at the beginning.
Are we talking about the same sketch? Let me look at this in
I
person.
don't know if it's the same sketch, but it's it's a similar one.
Oh yeah, it's not the same. Very close though. Anyway, enough with me distracting you with the track listing. So yes.
Yeah. So all I was gonna say about that is it's funny. I still hear that version of One Step Closer on the radio every once in a while. Like some stations still have it in the playlist.
Right.
So then we got It's Going Down, which is a song Mike did with the Executioners. It came out on their record, Built from Scratch, in 2002. This guy right here.
Oh, nice.
There's a music video and everything. I kind of thought it was a little weird that technically this is somebody else's song and it's in here, but at the same time, Mike wrote it.
Yeah, it's Mike's song. He talked about it on a stream recently where he said, you know, it's his deal. Linkin Park played it live. So he played it on the post-traumatic tour. Basically Linkin Park.
Yeah, I think he said one time that he kind of thinks of it like the first Fort Minor song too, because it was
Wow, that's right.
It was something he did kind of before he was thinking about doing a whole solo thing. But that's a killer track. I've always loved that song. So then we got 3 live tracks from BBC Radio 1. So this was like a live in studio thing without a crowd. They did Paper Cut, In the End, and Points of Authority. There was a 4th song. They did One Step Closer at that too, and we've never gotten it. And I know you were too. We were kind of hoping that would show up on here, but it doesn't look like it is. I wonder if they actually even still have it.
Yeah, could be. I mean, there's so many possibilities for why that could not have ever shown up. Like maybe it was a bad take of the song. Maybe they don't have it. Maybe BBC doesn't have. I mean, there's so many different things. But for people who don't know about those 3 live songs at that particular performance, if you're watching the One More Light music video, you can see a small clip of Chester and Mike together right next to each other in studio, and it's from that performance. This is like they flew to Europe in 2001, January 2001, did 3 shows.
This is the
Paris,
first time they ever left the U.S.
right?
Well, they
Yeah,
did Canada. They did a show in Canada.
yeah. So like, you know, France, Germany, and England, and then the last day there, they did the BBC in studio session.
Mm-hmm.
So these are actually some like really, really early raw performances, and especially like soundboard quality. So that's great that those are there.
Yeah, January 2001 was when those were recorded. So then we've got kind of the trio of studio B-sides that are on a whole bunch of things. We've got High Voltage, Step Up, and My December. Kind of weird that Step Up's in the middle there, like order-wise. Normally, High Voltage and My December are kind of like a pair because they were the 2 bonus tracks on like the special edition of the record, and then they were on the One Step Closer single. And but yeah, I think most people know My December. It's probably their most well-known B-side. Like,
Oh, absolutely.
yeah, I know people who don't even really listen to the band that much that know that song.
Yeah.
High Voltage, of course, would be the Mike remix version, not the Hybrid Theory EP version. And then Step Up is the Hybrid Theory EP version. They just kind of re-released it as a B-side on... Which single was this on? I got it right here.
In the End.
In the End. Here we go. Well, this is the EP, but yeah, it's on here. Japanese one. I clearly I did some digging in preparation for this.
Oh, yeah.
So then we got 3 more live tracks. We got A Place for My Head, Points of Authority, and Paper Cut from the Docklands Arena in London. Misconception is that that's the same show as the With You and High Voltage from LPU2. It's actually not. These 3 songs are from when they did the spring tour of Europe with Deftones. This is like March of 01.
Right.
And then the ones on LPU2 were from September. So
Right.
same venue, same year, different date.
They're like super. It's like even a totally different sound for the band, in my opinion. Like, you know what I'm saying? It sounds so raw. The Deftones stuff, the tour.
Yeah, I don't even think they were doing click tracks on some of this stuff yet.
Ah,
Like, especially A Place for My Head. I remember, like, Brad would always come in way faster, like, at the very beginning of that song, and they'd slow it down.
right.
And then rounding it out, we've got the By Myself, by spelled B-U-Y, remix, which was Marilyn Manson's remix that was a B-side to Reanimation. It's the bonus track on the Japanese version of Reanimation. It's also on this single right here.
Wow, you have it.
Yep.
Wow, not bad.
I spent a lot of time and a lot of money collecting all this stuff.
No, that's great. I had no idea you actually had such a collection like that. I truthfully had no clue.
I've got a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, I just haven't done a lot of hardcore collecting in a few years, but I've still... Back in, like, I went through a phase in about 06, 07 where I just got all the singles and stuff that had been released up to that point.
That's great. So yeah, that wraps up the B-sides rarities, which is, I mean, pretty comprehensive, good collection.
Yeah, and I think that disc, more than any other, there are some people like, well, why we got to rebuy all these songs again when we've already got them? So all those CDs, so let me show you. So in addition to all those, to get all those B-sides, you'd also have to get these 3 as well. Crawling, In the End, Paper Cut. So that's 6 CDs plus the One Step Closer promo that I don't have. If I, back then, would have just had an opportunity to have all that stuff on one disc, I absolutely would have gone for that instead.
Right. Yeah, that's logical.
Yeah. And kind of my overarching thing with this whole project is, let's talk about the price of this, Mark, because like the fact that this big box is only $200.
Dude, unbelievable.
That's okay. $200 is a lot of money. Like, don't get me wrong, but I was expecting it to be like twice that. Like, when it started, I know you avoided like all the spoilers, but when stuff started leaking out about all the stuff that's in this box, I was expecting like a $400 thing.
Yeah, me too. I mean, $200 to me is unreal. I mean, that's what Metallica charges, and then I've looked at like Muse and all this stuff, but I was like, nah, Linkin Park, they're gonna charge a good bit for this, because didn't they do like a recharge special edition for
There was a
lot?
Yeah, that was $500. That was the one that had that lion statue and the electromagnetic fluid that like you had the little stylus thing that you could play with. That sunk a lot of money into it, but that was a recharged and living things like bundle. So like,
Okay.
both CDs, both vinyls. There was like an art book in it too. I don't have that one.
Okay. But yeah, I thought it'd be way more expensive. I mean, at least $300.
Yeah, like
200 is great.
So in this, we got 5 CDs, 3 DVDs, 4 vinyls, a cassette, a book, art prints and photos. There's the Project Revolution like backstage pass lanyard thing. It's a lot of stuff. The Minutes to Midnight Superfan box, so this is 2007 money, was $100. That was just CD, DVD, book.
Wow.
and it's in like a similar size package from what I can tell. So this
Wow.
is like I'm shocked at how like much cheaper this ended up being than what I was expecting.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, a lot of comments are talking about like they're doing it for the fans and maybe COVID had something to do with it. I mean, I'm sure they planned
Yeah.
it well before COVID, but definitely agree with the do it for the fans thing. They're definitely like of any large band, like an extremely fan oriented, huge band. So that would not surprise me at all if they said we'll make this
Yeah.
really reasonably priced.
Yeah. A lot of people hurting for money right now, so I'm sure that played into
That's true.
even the when I ordered, I was surprised the shipping's not as bad as it usually seems like it's been from the LP store the last few years. I can't speak to how it is internationally because it varies so much, but
Yeah. I felt bad when I was talking to Adam earlier because when I am very much aware that in the US, when we say as Americans that $200 is cheap, that is not cheap to international people because of
right.
the conversion. I fully am aware of that. So I know. I get
Yeah.
it.
And even, I mean, $200 isn't cheap for us. It's just, it's less than what I was expecting. So what did I do? I ended up buying all three versions.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
Wesley
didn't,
says for the shipping. Yeah, that makes sense, Wesley. That's a good point.
yeah. Have you ever noticed that, like, if something is, say, $100 and free shipping, you're like, oh, sweet, free shipping. But if something is $80 and $20 shipping, you're like, oh, that's a ripoff.
Like, nah, canceled. Not even considering it. But $100 for free shipping, booking it all day.
Yeah, for sure. So anyway, so that kind of got us sidetracked. I'm trying to watch the clock so we don't like hit an hour and just get interrupted mid sentence like we did last time.
Oh yeah, but we can always come back for a part two. Now we know that Instagram cuts you at 60 minutes, so we
Yeah.
can always patch it up.
So then this LPU rarities disc, the ordering of the tracks on this is just all over the place.
Right.
It jumps around a lot. So it opens with the In the End demo, which I'm still annoyed they don't call Untitled, but whatever. Then we got Dedicated. Then we got With You and High Voltage, the live ones from LPU2 that I talked about a little bit ago.
Yeah, the other London Dockland show.
Yep.
Later.
Which a lot of people were talking about how they wanted that on DVD with this set. I guess you told me something like they couldn't find the master tape or whatever. Like, I guess they looked or...
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there were all sorts of different things they considered to put in there. So yeah, Docklands was one. Couldn't be done, but I mean, in the end, I'm kind of glad that Docklands is not on there because of the fact that it could have replaced the San Francisco Fillmore show.
Yeah, it could have bumped something off that we didn't have, period.
Right. And
Should have...
so, I mean, I would rather have, even though the work print version of that show is not that great, I would much rather have that and Fillmore master quality than not have anything from another show.
Yeah, totally agreed. So then let's see, we got the Points of Authority demo. We've got the Stick and Move demo, which is the one from LPU 9, so it's just like the instrumental beat demo. We got S-All, the Place for My Head demo. That's the one with the lyrics that are like the frat party rehearsal video, like the really fast rap version, I call it.
Yeah, that's the first, I think on the track by track, Mike said that version of a Place for My Head demo is the first one that they did with Chester, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
When did Mike do the track by track? Because I've been so busy today, I haven't seen everything.
No, he didn't.
Oh,
He didn't do a track.
the track by track for that LP. You're right.
Yeah, he didn't do a track by track for today. I mean, that'd be 80 songs that would take Mike like 3 hours to do. But, you know.
It'd take him 3 hours and he'd skip a few and like forget to come back to what he was talking about.
That's pretty funny.
So then we got Oh No, the kind of the same thing. It's a beat demo for Points of Authority. Slip, that's one of my favorite like unreleased tracks from. It's one of my favorite demos.
Slip is great. Could you imagine if hypothetically they had never released Slip or Blue or So Far Away, and we just got those titles today, and they were on this release for the first time? People would be blown away.
And the fact that they did, and we still got a couple songs that we have no idea what they are.
Impressive.
Yeah. So we got Gur, which is... Okay, which one's Gur and which one's Chair? I actually don't remember.
Luckily, I have our all-inclusive Linkinpedia open to tell you all about it.
I was going to say I could do that, but I don't know.
Gur is 27 seconds.
Okay. Well, which song is that, though? Like, what's it a demo of?
It's just Gur.
Oh, I know. I remember which one that is.
It's just Gur.
Yeah. That's the one that was in that LPTV episode, like, way back, and we were wondering what it was.
There it is. There we go. I knew it from somewhere.
Yeah.
Some people would be surprised to hear that you and I don't know every single tiny 30-second LPU demo. So we have to consult the source.
I knew that between Gur and Chair, one of them was part of me. I just couldn't remember which one. Because they're so similar, like just one-word titles.
Right.
So then we got So Far Away. Great early demo with Mike on lead vocals, which was just like unheard of.
Oh, man. It would be so great to get him to talk about that song. If anyone has any Shinoda bucks, I don't want to do that. I don't want to say you should ask him. If you need a question, you should ask him about So Far Away. That's a really unique song.
Yeah. Then we got Cole, which is another instrumental demo. That one's actually dated 97, so it was B0 era. But it's just another beat demo. Then we got Forgotten, Rhinestone, should be Rhinestone. Sad, which is the By Myself demo from LPU 9. Yeah.
Yep.
Then we got Hurry, which is the beat demo that was made from parts of So Far Away.
Right, that's right.
Which I think timeline-wise, Hurry must have come after So Far Away, because it sounds like they already recorded the parts and then remixed some of them. I
agree with that.
Yeah. And then Trivia, some of the drum beats from that ended up in Soundtrack, which was a Meteora demo.
That's so hard to follow when you're just looking at these at a glance.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure I'm forgetting something that I'm meaning to talk about. Then we got Blue, which is kind of... it's got a very unique vibe. It's got kind of a very funky, weird sort of verse vibe to it that doesn't fit a lot of the other Hybrid Theory stuff. And then the end vocal on that is kind of what inspired the chorus of Crawling.
The interesting fact about Blue and Slip is that Mike said he just randomly found both songs on a CD in his closet one day, and that's why he threw them on the LPU 11 CD. So thank you to Mike's Closet for holding the CD for us for so long, because we could have lost the songs.
Could have. And then we got Chair, which is the Part of Me beat demo. And then we got the Points of Authority Crystal Method remix, which was on LPU too. Yeah. It's remix that didn't make it onto Reanimation.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. I really like that remix. That comes up on my so I've got just like my iTunes on shuffle in my car, and for whatever reason that's a song that comes up a lot. And I don't know. I've never really listened to it that much, and I like that remix a lot.
Yeah, that's a great remix. I mean, that CD is massive. I mean, just looking at it, that's
18 songs.
That's really nice.
And that's pretty much every Hybrid Theory 0 era LPU demo that's been released, with the exception of Pods 1, 2, and 3 from LPU 15. I feel like they could have put that on there, but also I guess that was, you know, how Mike talked about that was his art project kind of thing that he did by himself, so it was never really a band thing.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe that's why they left it off there. Also, I don't know the runtime of that CD, but maybe like they didn't have enough space on the disc.
Yeah. Yeah, Pods doesn't have to really go on there in my opinion. It's a lot different than Mike writing something specifically for the band versus writing it for school.
Hmm. So then we hit the big one, the big Forgotten Demos disc.
Oh yeah, Forgotten Demos disc is probably the audio highlight of the entire release.
Yeah. And some of these we don't know exactly what they are. The first track, Dilate, no clue. Never heard the title before. There's one rant. If you look at Mike's MPC samples that have been floating around, there's one called Dilate, but it's from a demo from, I think, Living Things. So I think that might just be a coincidence.
Oh yeah, that's not related.
It's just like a one-shot like snare drum sample. Like it probably was just a random sample that was called it. So that's a song we know nothing about. Then we got Picture Board, the fabled song that I'm going to go ahead and pat myself on the back here because let's just do the whole Picture Board story. So that started in 2005. There was an LPU chat that Mike did where he somebody asked him about playing Zero songs with Chester. No, it was 2006 because they had just done Reading My Eyes at Summer Sonic. That's what it was.
I think Garrett asked it.
Yeah, and he said it was 2005. Maybe it was 2006. I don't remember.
I don't know. It did happen. I remember.
Yeah. So regardless, Garrett asked him if they'd played any Zero songs with Chester, and he goes, there was a song called Picture Board that we played with Chester once after we changed the name, and that was the only time we ever did that. So immediately the question was, oh, well, what is Picture Board? And so something to keep in mind is we've got a lot of like live audio and video from the Hybrid Theory era. And we, in the years since this, we've come across a lot more. So it's, other than Project Revolution 02, like it's a very well documented time in the band's history.
Oh yeah, more than any period after that, probably.
And another thing with Hybrid Theory is they weren't doing a lot of like intros and extensions to songs back then. It wasn't really a thing they'd gotten super into yet. So there wasn't a lot of material that we'd heard them play live that could be Picture Board. But I kept coming back to that interlude that they played at Rock Am Ring. It was between Pushing Me Away and One. And they played it the night before too, and it seemed like a random kind of thing. Except it didn't seem like a random thing because Brad just started playing the guitar part, and then Rob and Phoenix came in, and they're just playing parts that perfectly go with what Brad's playing. And I'm like, that's a song. That's something. They didn't just do that on the spot. We've all heard what happens when they try to improvise. Like, they're not that good at it. They have told us many times that they're not that good at it. I've heard some live Bleed It Out performances go completely off the rails because they're not that good at it.
Right.
So I was like, that's obviously a piece of a song. We just don't know what it is. So that's either Picture Board or some other unknown song. And it's also the only thing we know of that Picture Board is either that or it's something we haven't heard. So it was kind of a 50-50 on one side, 50-50 on the other side thing. So then this whole thing happens with the old band computer promo. And I guess I saw some of Adam's stream with you earlier, and I guess that Ryan just casually mentioned it to him one day, like, "Oh yeah, they played Picture Board at Rock Am Ring 01."
That's crazy, right? That's the craziest thing I've ever heard. Like how random is that for someone to notice that? You really have to be paying attention. Like you have to have listened to Picture Board enough times to remember that in your. It's not just to listen to Picture Board once and it's all said and done. And then watching the show so intently, the entire show, and then notice that's really impressive to me. Yeah.
So, and what's funny is, like, there have been a couple times that I remember people trying to ask the band about that interlude that they played, and they don't remember what it was. So.
Oh, yeah. No way.
So, yeah, I had always kind of suspected that might be Picture Board, and finally, I was right. Like, this is really exciting. Like, I got to go into my file of like all the songs played live and change Be Yourself to Picture Board, and we're getting to take Picture Board off the list of unreleased songs, which I don't think we'd ever get to do.
It's crazy, right? Like, that might be the craziest thing of 2020 to me.
Yeah, it's a very 2020 thing to happen.
Wow.
And Adam confirmed that the Picture Board we're getting is the one with Chester. So they had recorded a version with Mark. I don't know if it's just the same instrumental, different vocal, kind of like the Rhinestone thing. But yeah, so that's exciting. I'm really excited to hear that song.
Oh, yeah. I mean, admittedly, Mike says not a very good song, but it's just the fact that Picture Board is the most hyped up demo of Linkin Park ever, only because it's just been talked about like 5, 6, 7 times over the years, and it's just been the #1 request for every LPU CD, and it just hasn't happened, and now that's what it's built up to.
Well, and then there's this whole like story behind how it almost ended up on LPU 9. It was gonna be on LPU 9, and there's a sample in it that they couldn't clear. Like, they sampled somebody else. So I might be remembering wrong, but I think they swapped that out for Across the Line, which
Yeah,
is crazy.
that's the rumor.
Which is crazy to think about if we hadn't gotten Across the Line. Like,
oh man, I mean, that putting Across the Line in for Picture Board is maybe the best move they've ever done for an LPU. You know, obviously we don't know any other moves they've done, but that is really a great move because Across the Line is tremendous. Wow.
And I think we would have got it late eventually anyway, because it's just such a like no-brainer of a song to release. Because what else did they end up releasing it on? Well,
Across
it was on
the Line?
Brown, but I've got it on my iTunes. Was it a bonus on like the iTunes Deluxe edition of Minutes to Midnight or something?
Yeah, remember in 2013 when they did the iTunes stuff and all the wrong versions of the songs came out?
Yeah,
Wrong
we got
Shadow of the Day, wrong Across the Line, wrong
Dude,
Nova Verse.
that Shadow of the Day comes up in my car, and I hear those like strings, and they're not the right ones, and I'm just like,
Oh, it's awful. Like, completely someone. If people don't know what we're talking about, the band in 2013, it wasn't even the band. The label accidentally released the wrong master of Minutes to Midnight with some extra stuff going on in 2 songs, and in case Across the Line, there's no bass for part of it. I mean, completely wrong versions of the songs. And they made it onto the Minutes to Midnight picture disc that came out like a year or 2 ago. The wrong versions of the songs.
It was on a few things. It was on the HD Tracks version. It was on the iTunes version, and that version of Shadow of the Day is in Rock Band.
Oh, that kills me. I mean, that really bothers me because it's not the originally released Minutes to Midnight version.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right, Dylan. That's where we got that awful No Roads Left version with the drum loop going through the whole first half of the song.
Oh, it's a shame.
It gets old after like 10 seconds, and it's like, please make it stop.
Oh, yeah. Oh, good question at the bottom. Let me scroll back to it. Asking about, in your opinion, who Phoenix on bass for Picture Board, or
man, I don't
maybe you should get into like you know, it doesn't even have to be like different bassists, but like maybe talk about like the different lineup changes around the time, so we just really have no idea.
There's so much we don't know about everything from like 99 and earlier. Like, basically, we know that the Zero tape was mostly Mike and Mark Wakefield, and then Brad and Joe were on Rhinestone. And then between that and Chester joining the band, like, we know more than we used to, but we still don't know a whole lot.
Right.
We know that they went through a few different potential bass players. There was Scott, who played on tour with them for a little bit. There was Ian, who did some bass on Hybrid Theory. There was Mike Elizondo, who I don't know if he actually was ever in the band, but they wanted him in the band at least. Kyle Christner played on the Hybrid Theory EP. And then just recently we found out this guy, Andrew Lanoy, auditioned for them and jammed with them for a little while, so he is another potential bass player in the whole mix.
Oh yeah, and Mike, did you see Mike's stream recently where he talked about Don Gilmore was playing a lot of bass on the songs in the Hybrid Theory sessions, but the band decided ultimately they didn't want him to play on the album, and so Brad was playing. You of course know Brad, but
yeah, Brad played most of the bass on Hybrid Theory. I know because Don was a bass player, so like I always wondered if maybe he ghosted some of those bass parts on the record, but I guess that didn't happen.
yeah,
Because that would be a total producer thing to do. Like, oh, I'll just do it myself.
right.
Yeah. Oh, there's Percy talking about the Ace Tate LPU9 versions. That was weird.
Yeah, yeah, wow. That was strange. But it is for people watching who don't know, it's very common for Mike to edit up or edit down, however you want to say it, the LPU demos only to, I mean, it just polishes them a little bit just to present them in a good way for release. It's really not a big deal. It's not like Mike is going in re-recording vocals just for a demo. He just takes it in and then just chops it up a little bit. So that was interesting to get the longer versions of a few of those LPU9 songs.
Yeah. And if you've heard some of the MPC demos, you can kind of understand why he does this, because a lot of those just kind of loop and just abruptly end. They don't have a beginning or an ending. They're just kind of, the song starts and it goes and goes and then it just stops. So
Right.
I think a lot of what he does is he's trying to edit them down to a structure that feels more like a song.
Right.
Because
and I'm all about it.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan. Like Across the Line would have been ruined with the
bridge
instrumental.
beginning. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
It's just like having the shut up scream at the beginning of Plaster. It takes away something that you get later in the song.
Yeah.
All right. So then we go down the list here. We got She Couldn't, which excellent to have that in like proper non-staticky audio quality for the first time in 11 years.
Oh yeah.
That was really, there it is. That's a very valuable CD you have there, my friend.
Maybe.
Well, that's true. A lot of them probably aren't real.
Yeah, I mean, that's an entire stream on its own. Whether
how that guy apparently
yeah,
off a bunch of copies. And
yeah. So you never know.
But
there is a legit version somewhere. Do I have the original pressing? I have no idea. Does the song exist on all of the CDs? Yep.
Yep. Yeah, so kind of on that 8-track demo, by the time you get to about track 5, it starts getting staticky, and it just gets worse throughout the rest of the CD. And for a while, that meant that we didn't have good versions of She Couldn't or the Carousel or Part of Me demos that were on there, because they were at the end of the CD and sounded the worst.
Right.
But then that 7-track demo, which was the same disc minus She Couldn't, popped up, and it's like, oh, we got an upgrade to everything but that song. And
isn't that funny that every song that had static got an upgrade except for She Couldn't? We had to wait 4,000 days. I just checked that. It's been over 4,000 days since that song leaked.
Yeah. So just to hear it like in pristine audio quality, like I was listening to it with headphones on earlier, it sounds so good.
Oh man, I can't wait to listen to it in the car. Like I listened to it on headphones, 2 different types of headphones, and I mean, wow, I'm really impressed.
Yeah. And there was some question about sample clearance with that one too, because that was the whole reason when we first leaked it that they couldn't talk about it, because it's got that that High and Mighty B-Boy document sample in it that apparently they never cleared. So,
right.
But I guess they went through that whole process for this and got it okayed, and now it's She Couldn't's on Spotify. Like, did you think there's another weird 2020 thing that you can stream She Couldn't on Spotify?
I mean, the fact that that's the first song from this release, I mean, that is absolutely mind-blowing to me. So, and Mike has talked, Mike, right before we went live, posted a great, huge rundown on She Couldn't, and he talked about it at length on stream. I mean, that's really crazy considering 11 years ago, all he said was, hey guys, heard that there was a demo called She Couldn't. We were just working on Hybrid Theory when we recorded it, and that's all I can say.
Yeah. And now today he just told the whole backstory and stuff.
Oh, it's great. I really like that song a lot.
Yeah, I like the fact that it's like a 5-minute song from Hybrid Theory that's mellower, and it's got a really long instrumental bridge, like with all the different keyboard sounds and stuff. Like it breaks a lot of conventions of what people thought the Hybrid Theory sound was. And
Right.
I don't know.
No, it's fantastic. I mean, we could talk about She Couldn't for hours. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just such a unique song. Completely sounds so different than Hybrid Theory. It's very interesting that of all the demos, like there are quite a few like pieces that just don't fit the Hybrid Theory sound at all, and yet what made the album is like so cohesively massive guitars and super loud and stuff, but they have all these other tracks that are just like so chill.
Mhm. And it kind of makes sense why they didn't end up on the album, because the album is a very consistent sound,
Right.
but it just shows that they were doing a lot more out there kind of stuff from the very beginning. You know, people talk about how much they evolved after Meteora, but you know, we got stuff like that. We've got
Right.
stuff like um, So Far Away with Mike singing. You know, just all kinds of stuff that's different.
Yeah. Great comments about My December, which was written literally maybe a
We,
week before the week 2 weeks before the album came out or something.
um, yeah.
I
So
think it was right before.
the album would have been done, but they would have not released it yet. So,
Right. Yeah. They probably submitted the album in like May or June, and then they went on tour. And while Linkin Park was on tour, they got asked to record a song for the K Rock Slim Santa CD, I think.
mhm.
And um, the band was like, "Yeah, we'll record a brand new song." So they went to the studio in Nashville on a day off, and then they played Nashville the next day, and they recorded My December, which is a song that I think Mike just wrote it, and then bam, they went in and did a great take of it. But I mean, My December, as you said just a minute ago, is their most popular B-side song. I mean, it is a
Mhm.
great track.
It gets played on the radio every year around Christmas. Like I hear some of the rock stations still play it, and it's not even on an album.
Wow, I really love My December.
Yeah.
That's all time one of their most unique and cool songs.
Hmm. All right, and then the last song that we don't know anything about is "Could Have Been." Um, we do have a couple samples in the Zero MPC like leak that are called "Could Have," so apparently that's from that song. But they're just like little drum beat things. They don't give you any kind of indication of what the song sounds like. So
Oh yeah,
we're going in completely blind with that and Dilate, and then we just know that part of Picture Board was the Be Yourself interlude. So
yeah. Talk about the Zero Perk Jam thing.
Zero Reborn, yeah. So there was an LPU TV exclusive. I think you can find it on YouTube now though. Um, just search for Zero Reborn, and there's a clip where like Phoenix is playing acoustic guitar backstage at a show somewhere. Oh, it was in Perth in Australia. That's right, for Soundwave Festival.
Yeah, Soundwave.
Nailed it. Nice. Okay, so he's playing this thing on acoustic guitar, and Chester's like, "Oh, that was one of those old demos from like that we sent Don when we first started. That song was terrible, you know." And they're talking about how like, "Wow, I'm surprised you remember the whole song." He keeps playing through it, so maybe one of those two songs is the Zero Reborn song, but I mean, that's just a guess. It could be
Yeah.
anything.
On one hand, it seems too good to be true that the one Zero song that we're like really looking for is that song. But then also on the other hand, it's like, how many more Zero songs even exist? Like I mean, surely we've got to be in the last like three Zero songs.
Yeah, there can't be that many. Yeah, and then that's a nice segue because the next four tracks on the CD are labeled as Zero demos, I think. Well, Stick and Move isn't, but so we've got Reading My Eyes, Rhinestone, S All that are labeled as Zero demos. And interestingly, Mike mentioned on his stream today that some of the songs don't have Chester on vocals. So it sounds like we're getting some stuff with Mark. Um, I would assume that means that Rhinestone is probably the Zomba music sampler version, the one that was in The Crow, that actually we just got finally earlier this year. It finally leaked. But then as far as Reading My Eyes, and especially SL, because Reading My Eyes was on the demo tape, but SL wasn't. We know that they wrote that song as Zero, but there's no version of it out there with Mark singing. So
Right.
I'm very curious to hear, because we've already got, like Mike said, that the fast rap version that I talked about that's on the LPU disc was the first one they did with Chester. So I guess there's a version with Mark that we're getting on here, so that's going to be interesting.
Yeah. So real quick for people that don't, I saw so many questions on Twitter today. That's the only reason I'm going to talk about this.
Sure.
The Zero tape was recorded right to tape, and copies were made from that to make the other Zero tapes, and then they handed them out, did whatever with the tapes. Mm-hmm. So the 4 songs that are on the Zero tape only exist in those exact versions only exist on that tape. That's it. And so after that, they got whatever it was, the Zomba deal for the small deal for Zomba, and they got tens of thousands of dollars in that deal to buy new studio gear. And so what the band did is they bought new studio gear, and then they went in with Mark. This is with Mark still in the band before he had left, and they recorded a bunch of stuff. So we're talking about Picture Board,
Rhinestone,
Slip, Rhinestone, all sorts of stuff. So
Theme,
the general
Pop, the Rapology songs would have been from that period too. But so like their whole demo recording process, like those songs have the same kind of sound quality as the ones with Chester that they did before Hybrid Theory. So it's like they just kind of, once Mark left and Chester came in, like they just plugged him into that process and kept doing demos.
Right.
So
the same instrumental too for Rhinestone, right?
Yeah.
I don't know that for a fact, so I'm going to ask. That's just a question I have, but I think it's the same instrumental, right?
It's 99% the same instrumental. There's one of Joe's scratch samples that's different. But the whole drums, guitar, bass track, it's exactly the same as the one that's on LPU 11, I think. Maybe 12. I get my years mixed up on it.
It's the one with it called Forgotten?
Yeah, it just says Forgotten Demo.
I think 12.
Okay. Yeah, so that's literally just they had Chester redo the vocal instead of Mark. And then Joe probably just was like, oh, here's this different sample thing I'll put on there. So the Rhinestone and SL ones, like, we have a pretty good idea. I can't imagine Reading My Eyes would be the one from the tape, because it doesn't really make sense to only have one song on here from the tape. Like, you'd think it would just be the whole Zero tape if it was going to be on there.
Oh, yeah. I highly doubt they put the actual Zero tape on here.
Yeah, so
just because the quality is just not good.
The guitars on that Zero tape are the worst sounding guitars I've ever heard. Like,
oh yeah,
they're so bad. That's why I didn't tab those songs forever, because I was like, it just sounds like static.
Yeah, these are going to be tremendous upgrades of those 2 Zero songs.
Yep. Oh yeah, and especially just having a good studio version of Reading My Eyes, whether it's with Chester or Mark, is just going to be amazing.
Oh yeah, what a great song! I mean, wow, I really like Reading My Eyes.
Yeah. I know I mentioned this last time we did a stream, but I'm still mad they never played that in the U.S.
Oh yeah, I'm forever bitter. Put me on record. I mean, wow, starting the Europe tour in 2008 in Denmark, and they bring out Reading My Eyes in the set. I mean,
the LPLive blew up. We absolutely went nuts.
Right, people watching most people were probably not around then. When Linkin Park brought Reading My Eyes into the set that summer, it was a big deal, because the only time they had played it was at the Japan shows for Summer Sonic in 2006. And
then it was on the preliminary set list for Milton Keynes, but they cut it.
Oh yeah.
Probably because the set was running longer with Jay-Z, so.
Yeah. He's done it on Bleed It Out, and that's the only thing I've gotten it on Bleed It Out. But I mean, wow. When they dropped that, I couldn't believe it. I mean, I was like, wow, that's going to be on Project Revolution 2008, and everyone in the United States is going to get to see Reading My Eyes. And the band said, nope.
Somebody in the band must hate the song. Like,
Yeah, that's the only reason they drop a song like that.
hmm and then we got at the end here. So this is an interesting one. We got Stick and Move, but it's not labeled as a 0 demo like the other 3 are. So I'm assuming that this is like a studio re-recording of Stick and Move, like the full song, maybe with Chester on vocals. Like I wouldn't like rule out that maybe it's just a typo and they forgot to put it next to that song, that it's another 0 demo. But either way, another new thing.
Yeah, I don't know what to expect from Stick and Move because if I recall correctly, Mike the other day said they did not re-record Stick and Move in the Hybrid Theory sessions with Chester,
Yeah,
but that could just mean like while they're at NRG or something. So for all we know, that it could be a Chester version of the song, or it could be an instrumental of Stick and Move, or it could be a version with Mark and they just
yeah,
forgot to. I mean, we have no idea what to expect from track number 8.
yeah. And then the last 4 on here, we've got the Carousel demo, Points of Authority demo, the Crawling demo, and the Super Zero by Myself demo. So what's interesting about these 4 is, well, at least Carousel, Crawling, and Super Zero, over the years they've kind of dipped into most of the Hybrid Theory demos that like we already had online and released them on LPU. But Carousel, Crawling, and Super Zero never got released to the LPU. So
Oh, that's a great point.
yeah, so I have a feeling that that's just them kind of tying up loose ends with that, and those, there's a good chance those are versions that we already had, but they've just never been officially released. It's kind of like She Couldn't, like it was on a promo CD and it's around, but it's never been on anything.
Right. And the quality upgrade could be fantastic just because of the mastering.
Yeah, like if She Couldn't's any indication, like these could sound way better than what we got.
Yeah. Crawling is the one with the raindrops.
The Raindrops verse.
Ooh, that's a great one to put on that CD. I really like that version.
The thing with Carousel and Super Zero is there's a couple different possibilities of which version it could be because there's multiple demos of those.
That's a good point.
And then Points of Authority. So we've already got the one Points of Authority demo that's on the LPU CD. So I'm assuming this one is the one that's mostly like the album version, but it's got the alternate rap, the Stop the Talk Show one.
Oh, great one to pick for the CD. Wow. I mean, I'm a massive fan of all of those selections. Wow, that's great.
Yeah, that's a that one's interesting because it's almost like the final studio version with a different vocal. Like they must have redone Points of Authority really late in the process, I feel like.
Yeah.
Wow,
those are great demos, man. I'm a really big fan of those.
And then I do have to mention the fact that the only missing thing here is the Part of Me demo. Like, I mean, we've got Chair, the little instrumental one, but Part of Me was demoed with Carousel and stuff. Like, it was on the 8-track and 9-track CDs. So I don't know if they just, for whatever reason, decided not to include that one, or if they just forgot that they hadn't released it or something. I don't know. But that's like, if there's one song that is the most overlooked thing that's missing from this release, I would say it's the Part of Me demo.
100% agreed. Only because that demo of Part of Me has Chester screaming on the chord. I mean, it is.
The Cut Myself Free scream part is just...
Wow. It's great. So, yeah, I agree. If there was one song to add to the entire release, it would be the Part of Me demo, like a track 13 or something.
Yeah.
It's too late in the process now. I mean, I would have loved to have heard it mastered. Oh, wow. But I don't know. I don't know why that's not on there. That's a great question. I don't know if it was considered or not, but that is most certainly the one missing song.
Yeah. Hey, so we're going to get cut off in about 3 minutes. So do you want to just cut this here and pop back in? Just so we make it awkward?
Yeah, let me cut it, and then I'll invite you back, and we'll keep going.
All right, sounds good. Hold up a second, everybody.
Part 2, let's go. Get it set back up. And boom. All right, part 2 coming right up. Maybe. Welcome back.
All right, Instagram, you got to cooperate with us.
I love it when things work on the
Oh,
first try.
yeah. I was a little worried about that when I clicked share to story and it like a whole minute went by and it didn't do it. And I was like, we just lost our video. But anyway,
All right. So we've got through the, I guess, the CD version of this. So then on the vinyl side, we've got the Hybrid Theory and Reanimation vinyls, like I mentioned. We've also got, for the first time ever, the Hybrid Theory EP on vinyl, which is going to be really cool to see. You know, having that, I've always loved the Hybrid Theory EP cover art, so to have that blown up nice and big on a vinyl, it's going to look sick. And I mentioned this earlier in our group chat, Mark, but what's funny is, like, it's so hard. We all know that the original EP was 1,000 copies, and who knows how many of them are still out there. The LPU one, the first year of LPU was not nearly as big as like it got a few years later. So there aren't. I mean, they're more common, but they're still not super common. Like, you can buy a Hybrid Theory EP for more than you can buy the whole super set here.
right. That's a
Um,
great point. I brought that up to Adam today. That's what we're talking about when we say the price is affordable.
Yeah, you sent me a link earlier for a Hybrid Theory EP LPU reissue that's like $330 on eBay right now.
Yep.
It's insane how much people pay for those. Um, but what's funny about that is, depending on how many copies of the super box version are made, the Hybrid Theory EP might end up being more common on vinyl than it is on CD, which I just think that's kind of funny.
That's right. That's right. Because it was only, you said it was 1,000 for LP1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it. Wow, they're going to make definitely more than definitely more than a few thousand for the release right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So then, kind of wrapping it up. So I'm going to come back to the DVD stuff in a minute here. I kind of I thought this was an off the wall prediction, but I actually got this right when I was guessing what was going to be in this box set. They did a repressing of the Street Team sampler cassette with One Step Closer and With You on it, and it's actually in the box. I just think that's so cool.
Oh yeah, do you have one there?
I don't. The only things I got on cassette are just like the first 3 albums and Reanimation, I think.
I have one, but it's not in this room. When I was digging stuff out of the closet, I thought I had it in my hand, but it being a cassette tape obviously thought otherwise, so it's not here. But yeah, I do have one. I think it's great.
Yeah, that's a cool little bonus to have. I mean, even it's just One Step Closer and With You. We've got the songs, but it's just the fact that that's something they thought to put in the package is really cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we got our big hardcover book with all these unseen photos, and it looks like there's uh, text in there, like kind of like the Minutes to Midnight book where it tells like background story. I'm hoping we get a lot of cool song info in that book, a lot of cool photos.
Oh,
Um,
did you see something somewhere where there's going to be like it's more than just photos? Oh, wow, yeah, I promise you I didn't even look at the photo. Wow.
yeah, if you zoom
Yeah.
in on the big picture, like, you can totally tell there's text on the pages. So like, it
Oh
might
yeah.
get,
Well, I mean, just a lot of text, not even just a caption. Wow, that's epic.
yeah. So hopefully we get some cool like information out of this too.
Wow, great.
Uh,
Dude, the photos that were used on the She Couldn't video are on there on the left side. That's really cool
yeah,
too.
I noticed that. Then there's 3 art prints in there. So Mike, Joe, and Frank Maddox, who did the original Hybrid Theory cover art, they all did an updated art print for 2020, and each of those are included in the book. There's also a T-shirt for each of them too,
That's great.
that you can buy on the LP merch store. They're not part of the set, but they always release new apparel with every new release. So Frank Maddox designed all 80 pages of the book, according to Mike on Twitch today. That's awesome.
It's a lot of work.
For Frank Maddox, like, it's just so cool that Frank has literally been around the band from the very beginning. And there's only a handful of people that can say that. It's pretty much the guys in the band and Frank, and then Fiore came around a little bit later. Jim Digby, he's been around since Hybrid Theory.
Yep.
That's really about it, I think, because like they changed their whole legal team and like their management and everything at some point. So
yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Then there's a cool like little, looks like a Project Revolution 2002 like laminate backstage pass kind of thing. But then we got to dig into the DVDs on this, because as cool as the audio content in this box set is, the DVDs are the heavy hitters here, man.
Yeah, because you would logically assume with a Hybrid Theory release that you're going to get at least a couple unreleased songs. So that is given. So I'm not saying that that's bad content. It's like this epic content. I'm just saying the most surprising thing is the video content.
So I know how I said that we've continually got more Hybrid Theory live material over the years, but it's really slowed down the last few years. Like, what have we even gotten recently? There was the Roxy show from 2000.
Man,
as far as video stuff, that's really all I can think of. I mean, we got the work print Dockland show, but that was a while ago now. It's been a few years.
Both of those were like 2012.
Really? I thought that the Roxy was more recent, but maybe.
Man, I really think it was 2012. I don't know. Let me check.
I mean, we can't. I don't know if we can go off of when it was uploaded to YouTube. I don't know. Anyway, most of the video stuff we've been getting is like more recent. So
2013 summer Sunset Strip Music Festival 2013. So kind of.
Yeah, that's incredible then. It's been a long time since we got a lot of new video content. So on these, there's 3 DVDs. The first one is Frat Party at the Pancake Festival. One thing I want to point out is if you watch the album trailer, some of the music video footage is in widescreen. So
dude, it's in great quality. I'm so stoked about that.
So even though it's a Frat Party reissue, it looks like they might have gone in and upscaled some of the video footage, which would be really nice to see, because you know, as cool as it is that in the end hit 1 billion views on YouTube or whatever, it looks terrible. Like it's in 480p and it's like tiny and grainy, and it just doesn't look good for, you know, video content in 2020. So the possibility that we'd be getting some of the stuff upgraded is awesome.
Yeah, I forgot all about that. The Frat Party is completely out of print, so they're going to make a new one. So that'd be fantastic if they just subbed in better quality.
Yeah. So then we've got the second DVD. It just gets nuts already. We've got footage from Project Revolution 2002, which, for anybody who doesn't know, the amount of footage that we have from Project Revolution 2002 before today, one song.
Oh, yeah. One step closer.
We got One Step Closer from Colorado Springs, which they aired it on one of the MTV award shows. And
man,
that is
MTV Asia award show. That's right.
Yeah. It's the only live video that exists from the entire year 2002. Granted, they didn't play a lot in 2002, but it's always been this big hole that we have in like our documentation of the live shows, because there's just nothing out there. There's a few audio recordings from that tour, but the fact that we're getting like an hour-long Project Revolution 2002 live thing is great. I saw somebody said that it's actually a mix of 2 shows. It's San Diego and Colorado Springs, so.
No, San Diego and Las Vegas, the last 2 shows.
Oh, okay, cool.
Which is even more surprising considering we thought the only video that existed was Colorado Springs.
And then that's not even on there.
Right.
So they might even have more laying around. Who knows? But just from the runtime, it looks like it's like 50-something minutes. So it might not be like a full set list, but it's like a good 14, 15 songs it's going to be. You know, that's the first tour Brad had the Red Soldier guitar, you guys. Like,
Didn't know that.
we've never seen footage of it from its first tour. It's the most iconic guitar in the band's, like, arsenal.
That's awesome, man. And they had like such a cool stage on that tour.
Oh, with the soldier statues on the side, that was such a cool setup they had.
I don't know if they used that on Family Values. They might have.
They used them at some point in 2001.
I think Family Values, but it doesn't matter. Project Revolution 2002 is like its own absolute animal. I'm so excited about that. That is a true highlight in this release because we have nothing.
And some of the possibilities of what could be on there, because that was a tour they covered My Own Summer. I mean, my expectation of that being on the DVD is not super high, because I feel like if they're going to cut anything, the first thing you would cut would be a cover song because it's somebody else's, But
man, yeah, and I don't know how that works with getting that. I guess it's the same as putting Wish on the LPU CD. You have to get permission.
And I'm sure that Deftones would do it. It's just a matter of but then they also played It's Going Down on that tour. Early part of the tour, they still played And One, but I think they cut it pretty quick.
And One, I think, got dropped for It's Going Down. I think It's Going Down at one of those last two shows, one of which had, I think one of them had the Executioners on the song.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
So there's a lot of possibilities. And they played Step Up on that tour, right?
Yep.
My December
with like the acoustic setup. That was when they had the like Dave playing cello and stuff. So
oh wow, that's got to be a song on there.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as I'm hoping for My Own Summer Deftones cover, I feel like they would probably cut that first. Unfortunately, I really want to see that, and
I do too. But I'm just being realistic that's probably the first thing to go if they have to cut anything. So
yeah. So at this point, I'm gonna say, My December first. I would love My December, and then Step Up after that, either Step Up or And One. I don't really care.
Mm-hmm.
It's Going Down would be great too because Chester played guitar on it.
Yep. Yeah, and It's Going Down is on the B-sides disc, so having a live performance of it to go with it would be cool. So then
we mentioned all the songs that could possibly be cut.
I can get about maybe 3 or 4 songs in that could be cut, and then I just have no idea how to even.
Actually, but I was saying like the only songs that we want video footage of
are the ones that could be cut.
Yeah, My Own Summer, My December, And One, Step Up, It's Going Down.
Yeah.
Something's getting cut. Anyway.
Yeah, the Executioners were at the San Diego show, which San Diego. So this is another track that was, or 2 tracks that could have been cut from this release in general is San Diego 2002. We actually have 2 songs from. We have Step Up and My December audio from those songs.
That's right.
Because they were B-sides on the Somewhere I Belong single from Meteora. I would assume that's why they're not on here, because they were on a Meteora era release, even though they were Hybrid Theory performances. Oh,
I would assume that they're not on there because they're in the DVD.
Yeah. That's a good point too. This is funny. I'm looking at the show notes on LPLive for the San Diego show, and the second song of the show was Runaway. Notes: stopped and restarted 3 times.
Oh, that show.
Runaway was stopped and restarted 3 times because the crowd was so rowdy.
Wow, I forgot all about that. That's not going to be on the DVD.
No, but you know what? That preview clip of Chester in the crowd on A Place for My Head, and the place is just going nuts, that might be from that show.
Wow, that's right.
That clip of A Place for My Head in the trailer was just mind-blowing to me.
Oh, it looked like a full-on riot going on.
Yeah.
The video footage they used for the trailer is just fantastic.
Yep.
That's the first thing that hardcore fans are going to notice when they watch the trailer is what is this from? Blah blah blah. There's
Mm-hmm.
so much unreleased footage, and then some of the released footage is just in great quality. So every single piece they used is so visually appealing.
Yeah, it's such a good well put together trailer. I'm so happy that like they even, had the attention to detail to make the trailer that good.
Yeah.
So then the other thing on DVD too here is how do they word the sequel to the DVD with the worst name we've ever come up with, which is Frat Party 2.
Yep.
Kind of funny. So like during Meteor, there was a lot of talk that they were going to do a Frat Party 2. And then it just never materialized. This is probably not the same thing because this is Hybrid Theory era. I think Frat Party 2, they were talking about doing another tour documentary type thing, and it
Right.
happened. But this is like 45 minutes of unreleased footage from the Hybrid Theory tour era. And if you've ever seen the original Frat Party, it's just backstage antics, interviews with fans, little clips of live shows here and there, stuff like that. Just it's hilarious. It's very juvenile and just kind of a little cringy, because some of the humor in it was just very. They were basically a bunch of kids.
Oh yeah. Now this is going to be interesting. Adam talked about it today. He said a lot of it is from Project Revolution 2002, so that's going to be great too because
That's
once
awesome.
again we have no footage from that, and most of Frat Party original is from a significant part is from Ozfest,
Yeah.
and we've got a lot of stuff from 2001. So having some 2002 footage, I mean that's fantastic. Digby will be in there. It's going to be really cool. I bet it's just great, man. I'm really looking forward to that.
Mike and the Corn Dog.
Oh yeah,
How
Mike
does
and
it
the
feel
Corn
to be
Dog.
the guy in the eye? So Frat Party's so quotable. If you get hit by
Yeah,
a red car, you'll make MTV News.
that's right.
They're trying.
Yeah, that's gonna be great. I didn't even know they had that much footage left over, and I'm glad you brought that up about Frat Party 2 because I researched that today because I was like, I remember in 2006 when LP Fuse posted because LP Fuse staff did a lot of the old LP newscasters on tour,
Mhm.
so they knew Fiore at that time, and I'm sure that he mentioned to them. Basically, it was the montage clip in the end of the making of the Breaking the Habit video.
Yep, the one that's
The,
on the Breaking the Habit like manga book DVD set thing.
right. And you can find this on YouTube, so you don't have to own the Breaking the Habit DVD to find this or whatever. But go to the making of Breaking the Habit, and it's like right before the ending credits, and it's like a montage in black and white of fans on the Meteora World Tour in 2004, the arena tour, singing Breaking the Habit, and there's a couple clips of Chester,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just stuff like that. And so allegedly, the rumor was for many years since 2004 that was going to be on Frat Party 2, the original Frat Party 2, which was, as you said, a Meteora planned project. They were just going to do it again for Meteora. But then that footage, they didn't do it. And that stuff, most of it ended up in the LPTV 2007 episodes that they put on iTunes, 15 minutes each for each tour. So we probably got way more footage that way than we would have even gotten with a second Frat Party.
Yeah, for sure. And then rounding things out here, we've got the third DVD, which has the Fillmore 2001, which I'm really excited about that show. I've got LPLive open. I'll check. The Fillmore was...
Dude, check me out on this. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to guess that it's before San Diego on the tour.
It's the day before, or it's the show before San Diego.
Wow, that was luck.
Yeah, it's the fourth show of the tour. So this was their fourth headlining show ever.
Wow.
It's in the Fillmore's in San Francisco, California. It's a real famous venue. And this was the tour where they had Taproot and Styles of Beyond opening for him. It's the same. If you go and watch the video of the band reacting to a live show from 2001, it's going to be that same tour set list, everything. What's cool about the Fillmore is there was a kind of a mini documentary that was some TV thing.
Right. Yeah, MTV did a thing. You can get the info faster than me,
Yeah,
but
it was just a half-hour documentary, and that's including commercials.
Right.
And it had a couple clips of them, during sound check, just talking about playing the show. It's kind of like a miniature tour documentary thing that's just focused around one show. And you get almost full performances of With You and One Step Closer. But otherwise, there's very little video footage of the actual show.
Right.
Apparently, we're getting the full performance on here. So it's not that documentary, it's the actual full show. And knowing that, I remember you saying back when they did the San Diego live stream that the reason they did that on YouTube was because they decided not to include it on the box set. So seeing that that's like an audience one camera situation, and knowing that the show right before it, they have like a full pro shot, multicam, soundboard audio type deal, like obviously they're going to put that on there instead of San Diego.
Yeah, that's a great point. That is a very good point. Yeah, that is a fact that San Diego was a leftover in things that they found. So I'm really looking forward to Fillmore. I just looked at the runtime for the Las Vegas show, which is show after San Diego, and it is for the webcasted show, and the length of that is shorter than what the Fillmore is going to be. So, I mean, this is going to be absolutely. Maybe the highlight of the entire release might be this Fillmore Club show. I mean, imagine the energy in that place. And the quality. Ooh, it's going to be really, really good.
Yeah, all the video quality on this looks amazing. And then rounding it out, we've got Rock Am Ring 2001, which is just fantastic performance.
Yep.
Visually, it's one of my favorite videos of them because it's raining during the show and there's all the steam kind of rolling off the stage while they're playing because it's so wet. They just play a really good song, and that set's got And One and High Voltage, and now that we know, Picture Board.
That's right. So did you notice this in the trailer that the footage looked like? I would assume that the video footage from Rock am Ring 2001 they used is straight from the master tapes. Looks better than any video I've ever seen.
It's ridiculously high quality.
It looks crazy good. I've never seen that show look that good. I rewinded
that looks
the trailer.
Better than 04 does.
Yeah, it really does, which makes me think wow, I really want Rock am Ring 04 like that.
Yeah, exactly.
But dude, that's going to be great. Imagine that. They may even have alternate camera angle. I'm just, guessing. Even if it's the exact same everything, edit and all that stuff.
The only question I've got is, will they keep the Sweet Child of Mine tease? Or will they edit that out?
How much? I always forget. I don't know how much it was.
That was the one where it's just right before One Step Closer. He plays the intro guitar riff, and then Chester sings a couple lines over it. It's maybe a minute long.
That's enough for Guns N' Roses to say something about it. So I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah. If it's not on there, it's not the end of the world, but...
Oh, yeah. I could really care less about that. They may leave it. It doesn't really matter.
It wasn't really even good. In fact, if you go look on YouTube, that particular video is the source of a lot of people making fun of Brad for how badly he plays that Sweet Child of Mine riff.
Oh, yeah. Someone said, what show are we talking about? Rock am Ring
01, yeah.
So I'm looking at the runtime, 53 minutes. Let's see what we've got ours at. That should
4:45. Oh, wait. Well, that's with the intro before the show, though.
It's the full show, man. There's only a 40-second difference there.
Yeah. That seems like it must be,
Yeah, that's it. The whole show's on there. Probably.
Unless they do like a really abrupt cut in and out at the end to shorten it a little, and then I don't know.
Yeah, you never know. But wow, that Rock am Ring has just become such an iconic venue for Linkin Park over time. I mean, it all began really with the '04 show going
Yeah.
absolutely batshit insane. I mean,
Well, that was the first big webcast that a whole bunch of people watched, because that was right when it was just getting to where webcasting in like watchable quality was possible. And the WDR people, like Rock Palast, those people, I'm probably butchering the pronunciation of that because I don't speak German, but you can go back decades and find footage of them that they've shot from these festivals in Germany, and they're just amazing every time. Like, they know how to produce a live video.
oh yeah, man, that '04 show really exploded. I mean, I was just looking at it the other day, like the potato quality videos on YouTube have like millions of views.
Yeah.
So
And
ever since then, I mean, the shit has just really taken off. And then I remember like 2007, which was, you know, Minutes to Midnight era, One Step Closer opening that show and Faint closing with like probably the most iconic Chester Faint outro of all time. And then the crowd losing its mind on all those songs.
dude,
That,
if we could get a full '07 Rock am Ring at some point, that's like, video-wise, that's like one of my top like wanted things.
yeah, 100%. You know, honestly, I mean, I'm dead serious when I say if they can fit every, it's going to sound dumb, but if they can fit every Rock am Ring show somehow in something, I mean, it's just that good of a festival. 2012 is the only one that was just like not next level, but even then,
That was the one where that was the last year that they did the original Rock am Ring, right?
no, that was 2014. 2012 is when they there was like a local rule where they had to turn the sound down.
Oh, okay.
2014 is the last one. So 2014 was the last show at Nürburgring for Rock am Ring before they moved festival sites. And so the last day was Metallica and Avenged Sevenfold, and the day before that was Linkin Park. And that was when the band gave the huge speech before Bleed It Out and the Circle Pit and all that stuff.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I completely forgot that they played Rock am Ring in 2012.
Right. See that? Yeah, exactly. That proves my point. Like that's the only one that's not like next level. I think the '04 show amplified the '01 show, and then '07 show cohesively took every Rock am Ring and just like made it the iconic international show for them. So, I mean, putting the 2001 on here was a great move.
I forget when they mentioned this. I think it was in one of the LPTVs from that era when they were on tour, but that Rock am Ring '04 show is like one of the best live performances they ever did, like in terms of just how good they sound. Come to find out that 2/3 of the band was just horribly sick that day.
Oh, wow.
That was the tour where they had some kind of stomach bug going through like the band and the whole crew, and they were all just sick, like bad.
Well, that's right, because I know that's right, because right before that show, they played the Download Festival. In the LPTV episode, Chester says he has LAS, leaky ass
That's the
syndrome.
leaky ass syndrome shit.
Right when they're like huddling during the show intro, he says that. So yeah, they probably were fucked up with a stomach bug.
If you've never had a bad case of stomach flu, I wouldn't wish it on anybody.
That's terrible. Well, wow, they really gave it their all. I mean, that's Rock am Ring 2004. I mean, is easily the most popular Linkin Park show of all time. If you're not talking about like how many casual fans obviously know Live in Texas and know
Yeah.
teams and all, but I mean, seriously, Rock am Ring 2004, like,
Dude,
really...
I burned like CDs of the audio from that show for my friends in high school, and I was like, you want to hear a good live performance, listen to this.
Oh yeah, like I'm pretty sure if you could trace back on the internet, like me and you were probably sending 30 megabyte video files of songs from that show to each other.
The individual .mpeg files from that show with the videopimp.com watermarks at the beginning.
Oh yeah, and take 8 hours to send each song. I mean, I'm sure me and you in 2004, 5, and all that shit did that.
That would have been like open up the file transfer thing on MSN Messenger and just leave it sit overnight and let everything transfer.
Then you get a phone call at the house and the internet gets disconnected. You got to start over.
I had cable internet from the very beginning, so I never had to worry about that.
Nice.
I didn't get a computer till 2002, so I was a late comer to the internet thing.
Oh, wow.
So
yeah.
So then, real quick, let's just hit on the other two editions, because we've got a 2 CD version that's $20. It's just the it's Hybrid Theory, and then the B-sides and rarities disc, which
I have been so busy today, I have actually not even looked at that. So let's pull it up.
yeah, cool looking kind of reimagining of the album cover, kind of like the two-tone black and white sorta.
It's great. What's on the bonus tracks are on the second disc? What's the track listing of that?
It's the same as the B-side rarities CD from.
Oh, okay. So it's
Yeah.
the B-side rarities and the full Hybrid Theory.
Yeah, so that's just a good collection of studio stuff from Hybrid Theory era, and some live songs too.
Oh, it's great because High Voltage and My December are on that CD. Perfect. They nailed it.
Yeah.
Whoever put that together, great job.
And then we've also got this 4 vinyl box set, which is a little interesting because it's kind of the vinyl version of the 2 CD version. So you got Hybrid Theory on vinyl, and then you got the B-side rarities thing on vinyl, which is not in the Ultimate Edition box, which I have mixed feelings about that, but at the same time, I'm not like in a massive need to have those songs on vinyl. Like, I'm getting them on CD in any of the versions. I'm getting that either a CD or a vinyl of it, so I'm not super worried about it.
That is interesting. I didn't know this. I didn't notice that until right now.
Yeah,
But
you get
exclusive.
Hybrid Theory, B-side rarities, and then Reanimation, which is a double vinyl. So that's a 4 vinyl box set for $60, which is very reasonable for 4 vinyls.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really the whole thing.
What about the artwork on the new covers that Frank designed? Shout out to Frank. I thought those were really cool.
Yeah, everything looks awesome artwork wise.
What was? Oh, my phone needs a plug in. Hang on. That must have been my battery alert. Anyway, yeah. So Frank put new covers on this stuff, and I really liked.
I like
Yeah,
the fact that the Forgotten Demos one has the Baby from the Zero tape cover.
Yeah, fantastic. I think that's great. LP Rarities one looks good. B-side Rarities looks great. I really think like the band is so lucky to have Frank around because everything they put out like this is just so kick-ass and it always looks really great.
And then just to round off the box set package, you've got that big poster of just this amazing picture of Chester with the flame tattoos and the microphone sticking out from his hands.
Wow, yeah. I've talked about that like 3 or 4 times today already, but that particular photo, I believe the deal is they worked with Frank. The band, I told the story on the stream with Adam earlier today about how Linkin Park ended up working with Frank, but then I think he flew out to see them in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in 2000 to shoot a show, and I think some of those like super dreary Pittsburgh style in the rain Hybrid Theory promo shots were from that day, I believe. Well, anyway, then he shot the show that night, and that's that photo of Chester. And I mean, it was used to like for radio promo for One Step Closer, and it was in like magazines and stuff, but it's never been available in like as like a legit print.
Probably.
So I think it's great.
That would be July 29th, 2000 at Club Laga in Pittsburgh.
Well, there we go. Does it say it on the show page?
Yeah, before the show, the band did a photo shoot for Hybrid Theory. The photos were used on the album.
Perfect. So that would be right after they turn the album in and they're ready to do some
that was the
photo work.
6th show of the Union Underground tour, which was their first tour, really.
That's crazy.
So when we talk about Rob being there from the Rob, sorry, I'm thinking Rob McDermott. um, Frank, when we talk about Frank being there from the very beginning, like 6 shows into the Hybrid Theory tour, he comes on and he's been around ever since.
Right. I was trying to, real quick, I was trying to see the photo of the book, of Frank's book, if it was on the left side, those photos. I was trying to see if those were alternate shots from the exact same photo shoot as the back of the Hybrid Theory cover, and I think it is.
It's very possible.
Yeah, it is. Same clothes and Mike red hair,
Nice.
Chester blonde hair. Yeah, that's it. So that's really cool. Wow, Frank is going to put in some epic stuff.
I feel like Frank might have done more work on this than anybody.
It certainly feels that way.
Ryan DeMarty.
Yeah, Ryan, wow. Adam talked about that today. Not a bad job. That's really impressive.
Ryan's kind of one of the unsung heroes that, like, I think a lot of the fans don't know his name, but he's basically like, the band doesn't have like just one manager. They have a management team. But if like you were to say that one person is their manager, it'd be Ryan. He's kind of the main dude.
He does a great job. And by all means, hit a grand slam with this release. I mean, I am very impressed. Okay, how about this? If you and I can sit here at the end of the day, 2 hours into a chat, and say the only legit thing missing is One Part of Me demo,
Yeah,
that's pretty fucking good.
yeah, that's
pretty good.
I've, like, for quite a few years, I've kind of, you know how I am. I'll get bored and I'll like make up like fantasy track listings for like an Ultimate Edition, Hybrid Theory, whatever, and like everything I could have thought of to be on here, and then some, was on here. So there's a bunch
Right,
of
like
stuff.
what else is there? Like nothing else even exists unless you're talking about other live shows or something.
Because like people understand like how like deep we go when we find stuff that we didn't know about before with this band, and like
Right.
they still find ways to surprise us with stuff we didn't know about.
Right. Like just glancing at the website, like there's literally like not much else they could have even put on here for live content. Like we were talking earlier today about that High Voltage from the Jones Beach 2001 show. That was the show where they were filming for HBO Reverb and all their shit broke. So of course you're not going to put that out because the show fucking sucked.
Yeah. They had so many technical mishaps in the early days.
Yeah.
The same thing happened at Docklands when they were filming for that, because that was going to be a DVD, and then their fucking computer like exploded during like the second song of the show.
I guess that's why that never came out, but what a shame. What a shame, because that is literally such an epic show. Like, if I were to go back in time, I would have said that you should release that even with the fuck ups.
Yeah. That's the first time this Instagram stream has lagged for me. It's been very good today.
Dude, yeah, internet quality is great, phone quality is great.
Yeah, the speaker on this phone is like twice as loud as the one on my old phone, so I actually have my volume down.
Oh, wow.
It used to be that I'd have my volume all the way up and I couldn't hear you.
Oh, wow.
All right.
Well, I guess I'm looking at everything. I think that's everything. So, did you watch the She Couldn't video?
I did. All the pictures in it and stuff look really cool.
Yeah, it was like in sync with the music.
I was half just vibing out to the song, but it's still.
Yeah, thought that was good. I thought the trailer was like really awesome. I talked about this with Adam earlier.
Did he say something about that was like Mike's brother-in-law or something that put that together?
That's right. So, little known fact, which I didn't even really pay attention to until today, was, yeah, he also worked on Frat Party with Joe originally.
Oh, okay. So, like, consistency and, like, the videography. That's cool.
Yeah, so he did the trailer, and Adam said that Brad Delson had a lot of input on it, like, really, really was focused on the trailer, and a lot of edits were done and all that, but
Brad has a lot of behind the scenes like stuff going on as far as getting stuff put together.
Oh yeah,
because like, you got to remember back in the day when they had band merch for all their like merchandise stuff, that was Brad's dad's company. Like they put that all together and did all their merch distribution and everything. They were very involved in like all that stuff.
that's right. Man, yeah. So the trailer came out great. Like, loved the fact it opened with the Crawling Reanimation remix, like probably the most emotional piece of instrumental music in the entire catalog.
Mm-hmm.
The logos going back in time were so cool. Like, you know, you have the broken hex, One More Light, that goes into the full hex. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what a great nod to Chester right there. Like, super classy, super respectful. Thought that was a great way to just give a nod to Chester. Loved that. And then going back, I told this to Adam, this wasn't even like they used just one logo from each era. I mean, yeah, it did go from, you know, Hunting Party back to Living Things back to Thousand Suns, but for the earlier albums, like, they did Collision Course logo, they did the Live in Texas logo, they did multiple Meteora logos, they did every Hybrid Theory logo. I mean, I noticed that immediately, and I was like, wow, that is really something. And then all the unreleased footage and the compilation of music, I thought the trailer for me might have been the highlight of the day. I thought it was that good. Like,
yeah,
the way that they like were so classy and professional about how they displayed Chester. Like, huge fan. It wasn't like every single shot was Chester, but it was also like, it wasn't like he wasn't featured, you know, like he was featured just enough. And I thought it was like really, really nicely done by the band. I mean, I watched the trailer many times in a row just because it was that good.
Yeah. Definitely like a good way to sort of reintroduce themselves when they haven't put out any video content really, you know, in 3 years.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's also a great point. Yeah, because the band hasn't put out anything video content wise since the One More Light trailer. They did Sharp Edges, I think.
Yeah, that might be the last video on their YouTube channel before this.
Wow. And then, oh, I guess the Hollywood Bowl, but
oh yeah, all that,
but I mean, wow, the trailer just 12 out of 10. Humongous fan of the trailer, man. I mean, I'm probably gonna watch it again after this. I thought it was that good.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we about time to wrap it up here. It's getting late here, and my kids.
Oh yeah.
So I gotta go take care of her.
It was fun. Good talking to you.
Yeah,
we'll
always good to
chat
see
again
you,
soon.
Yeah.
All right, we'll throw this up on YouTube and we'll call it a day.
For sure.
All right, man. See ya.
See ya. See ya, everybody.